For some reason, I thought it was just another afternoon. It was one of those days when everything seemed peaceful and calm. I was tired after work, so I chose to take a long, hot bath. The warm water was relaxing, and the steam made the small bathroom feel like a warm, safe place to be. I had no idea that my whole world would be turned upside down in just a few minutes. The house was eerily quiet. I could just barely make out the low hum of the TV in the next room, where my sister Timmy's mom was probably watching her favorite show. My nephew Timmy had been living with me for a few days. He is usually a quiet, good boy. As nice as he was, there was something about him that always made me feel a little nervous, but I couldn't put my finger on it. When I got deeper into the bath, the warmth helped relax my muscles. I closed my eyes and let out a big sigh. It had been a rough week, and I just wanted to take a break and forget about everything. Yet as soon as I shut my eyes, I heard a soft rustling sound next door. At first, I didn't think much of it. I thought it might just be the house moving or a draft rattling the windows, but then I heard it again. This time, a faint step that sounded like someone was sneaking up on the bathroom. I froze and strained to listen as my heart skipped a beat. The bathroom door was locked, so no one should be able to just walk in. Right. There were louder footsteps, and then I heard the clear sound of the doorknob turning. It made my stomach hurt. Who was there? Could it be Joey? I called his name, but he didn't answer. I wasn't sure whether to wait or open the door. The tension was killing me. The water had been soothing just a moment ago, but now it made me feel squished as my mind raced. Was someone pulling a joke on them, or was something much scarier going on? I then heard Timmy's close, soft voice calling my name. "Aunt," he whispered so softly that I could hardly hear him. It sent a chill down my spine. But why did he whisper he never sounded that good before? My heart beat faster, and I tried to stay relaxed even though the air felt heavy and tense all of a sudden. That's what I had to know. I finally got out. "What is it? Timmy?" Even though my voice was shaking a little. After a long pause, he spoke up. I need you." It didn't sound like he was asking for something as a kid would. Instead, it was more insistent and almost pleading, though I was taking a deep breath. My fingers dug into the porcelain as I held on to the edge of the tub. Were my thoughts going crazy, or had Timmy's mood changed for the worse? "Come in," I said after a short pause. When I turned around, I saw him standing in the doorway, his small figure blocked out by the light. The door had slowly opened. I knew it was the same sweet nephew, but something was off about his eyes. They were darker, like he was trying to hide something. I blinked, not sure if I was just tired or thinking too much. But as he got closer, I saw something that made my skin tingle. His face was twisted, not in a fun way, but in a way that was completely different and new. Aunt Timmy said something in a low voice. As soon as I thought you would notice, he moved closer to the edge of the tub. "You're always so busy, but I need you right now." The way he spoke was scary, and his words didn't make sense. I felt sick to my stomach because that boy wasn't my cousin, or the boy I knew. It wasn't a game for kids. My mind told me to do something, but I couldn't move. As Timmy leaned in closer, his fingers touched my shoulder, and his breath felt cold against my skin, making me shiver. I wanted to push him away, but I couldn't. He said in a strangely calm and steady voice, "I've been waiting so long for this. I'm not going to let you go now." The air was so tense that I could hardly breathe. What was going on? Why did Timmy act this way? Was he playing a game, or had he changed? It was hard for me to stay calm because I was scared and confused. There was something very wrong. In order to get away, I had to leave the bathroom. Even though my body told me to get up and run, I couldn't move. Timmy leaned in even more, putting his face just inches away from mine and firmly pressing his cold fingers into my arm. He said it again in a whisper, "I want to be close to you." Something about his voice instantly chilled me. His words sounded almost hypnotic, but they didn't show any love or warmth. Instead, they had a strange calm that didn't make sense at all. Then I realized this wasn't a normal family moment. It wasn't about loving your family or having fun as a child. This was a much worse thing. I had a lot of questions in my head. How did he change so quickly? What was going on with him? Could it be that I missed something earlier that I should have seen as I tried to make sense of everything? I had the terrifying thought that I might never really know what was going on. There was no reason for what was happening or for Timmy's strange behavior. All I could think about was how scary it was that the boy I thought I knew had disappeared and been replaced by someone or something completely different. Timothy's fingers gripped my wrist and wouldn't let go. His hold got tighter and tighter until I couldn't move. Fear and confusion made it impossible for me to act on my instincts. Even though I knew I had to break free and get away from whatever it was, I whispered, "Please." But my voice was shaking. "What do you have planned? What do you need?" But he didn't answer. He kept his eyes on me with a cold determination. Now it was clear that he wasn't going to let me go. I tried to get free from his grip, but something in Timmy's eyes held me like he had cast a spell over me. My heart was racing, and I wanted to run away. I was trying very hard to think of a way out, but the air felt thick and stuffy, and Timmy was always there. He told me in a whisper, "You're not going anywhere." His voice was so low that it did something to my spine. While his hand was on my arm, it slowly moved up as if he was seeing how I would respond. I wanted to scream and push him away, but I couldn't get the words out. Why was he doing this? Where was the sweet, innocent boy who used to look up to me before Timmy was always nice, shy, and interested in new things? But now it seemed like someone or something had taken over him. When the bathroom door squeaked again, I quickly turned around to see if my sister was there, but there was no one in the hallway, and I could hear weak footsteps outside, but they were far away. We were now the only ones left. I knew I had to move quickly. I tried to push Timmy's hand away again, but he was stronger than I thought. His grip got tighter, making me feel panicked. The warm water used to make me feel better, but now it made me feel like I was sinking. Timmy leaned in even more, and his cold breath hit my neck. He said in a low, disturbing voice, "You're mine now, and you always have been. I've been waiting for you to understand what he said." It made me shiver, and it hung over me like a heavy shadow. It wasn't just a kid's game anymore. It was something darker and more dangerous. I gasped, and my mind was racing with ideas. He had no power over me. I had to fight back. However, what was going on with him on his face, I looked for a sign of the nephew. I used to know the kid who laughed and played and asked for bedtime stories, but all I saw was a cold, calculating stranger. I then thought of the little shampoo bottle sitting on the edge of the tub. Without thinking, I grabbed it and threw it at Timmy. It hit him right in the chest and made him lose focus for a moment. In that split second, I pushed away from him and climbed out of the tub, but the water was rough and my legs were weak. "Don't run away from me," Timmy said, with an angry tone in his voice as he stepped forward, his eyes shining with a strong new light. I moved back because I was scared to death. He was no longer just trying to scare me. He wanted to hurt me. My thoughts were racing as I tried to find a way out. I couldn't stay in the bathroom, but it felt just as dangerous to run into the rest of the house. What if he chased me? What if I wasn't strong enough to stop him? I was so scared that I grabbed a towel and wrapped it around myself, thinking that it would make me feel safer, but it didn't. It was clear that Timmy was determined as he took another step toward me. There was no sign of fear in his eyes, just a frightening, emotionless control. I begged in a whisper, my voice shaking. "This is not you. I don't know what came over you." Timmy didn't answer when I said, "Please stop." When he reached out again, he grabbed my arm so hard I thought he might break it before I could move. At that moment, the fear I felt was too much to handle. He didn't seem to hear anything I said. It felt like the boy I used to know had been erased, and something dark and dangerous had taken his place. Then a memory came back to me. It was so faint and far away, but it seemed to hold the key to understanding what was going on. I thought back to how Timmy had been acting strangely a few weeks ago. Strange dreams, strange behavior,
and a change in his attitude had been talked about, but no one gave it much thought at the time. Now it all makes sense. He hadn't just gone through a phase. Something strange had happened to him. I had to leave. I had to get through this. I could just barely make out my sister's words through the door, but it was too far away to help Timmy, and I were the only ones in this fight. I was strong because I was afraid I had to fight no matter what. I used all the strength I had to tear my arm free from Timmy's grip. When I pushed him back, I thought I might be free for a moment. Then he jumped forward faster than I thought he would. His hand wrapped around my wrist and pulled me back toward him with a force that felt almost unnatural. I grabbed the shampoo bottle again, but this time I used it as a weapon and smashed it into his face to try to throw him off enough to let me get away. He stumbled and looked confused for a moment, but then his eyes focused again with an even scarier determination. "Why do you fight back, Timmy?"
Asked. His voice was oddly calm, like he was telling me off. "You're mine. I've always loved you." His hold on me relaxed just a bit, and I took that tiny chance. I jumped out of the tub and wrapped a towel tight around myself, ignoring the cold air. My legs were shaking, but adrenaline was pumping through my body. My heart was beating fast as I ran toward the bathroom door. I had to leave him alone. What had taken over Timmy was too much for me to handle by myself. When I threw open the door, my sister was standing there, pulled in by the noise. She looked scared, but I didn't have time to explain. There wasn't time to say anything. "Jack!" I yelled, but he was gone when I turned around. It looked like nothing had happened, because the bathroom was empty. My sister rushed to my side, but I couldn't explain what I had just been through, because what I saw and felt made no sense. That cute kid Timmy used to be, who loved to play, was no longer there. He had turned into something bad. As my sister tried to make me feel better, I caught a faint glimpse of Timmy watching from the hallway. In the dim light, his dark eyes sparkled, and I had a creepy feeling that he was there. I wasn't sure what would happen next, but one thing was clear. This wasn't over yet. Things only got stranger over the next few days. Even though the house felt different and Timmy's behavior became more and more unpredictable, no one else seemed to notice. My sister told me I was crazy or overthinking when I tried to tell her what had happened, even though I was worried. But I knew in my heart that Timmy was no longer a normal child. I never felt safe again, because I knew that the darkness that had taken over Timmy couldn't be easily put out. I was also sure that soon enough, everyone else would see the truth. But by then, it might be too late. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to know what did happen next, don't think this story is over yet. There's still a lot more to